Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. There is a long-standing debate over whether property rights exist apart from anything government might do, or whether they are granted by a government that has to balance many considerations. Personally, I agree with Federate Bastiat, who said that life, liberty, and property do not exist because men have made laws. On the contrary, it is the fact that life, liberty, and property exist beforehand that caused men to make laws in the first place. To the Minister of SRD, which perspective is driving the revisions that we've been promised to the existing Land Use Act?
Sustainable Resource Development.
No, categorically no. What's driving our decision to look at some change with respect to the legislation that we have in place is, quite frankly, listening to Albertans, Mr. Speaker.
The honourable member.
Well, thank you. If the government agreed with Mr. Bastiat, as I do, the property rights are natural and cannot be extinguished by any government act, Bills 19, 24, 36, and 50 would never have crossed their minds in the first place. To the Minister of SRD, do you and your caucus still believe, as you obviously did when you passed these laws, that property is something to be arbitrarily granted and revoked without legal recourse, but at the discretion of Cabinet and its political judgment?
The Honourable Minister of Sustainable Resource Development.
Mr. Speaker, nothing in that dissertation has anything at all to do with the legislation that we're working for on behalf of Albertans.
The honourable member.
Yeah, total disbelief on the problem. That this government is trying to have it both ways. They're trying to earn political points by fixing an unjust law without admitting that it's unjust laws. We've heard the SRD minister scold radio show callers for daring to suggest these laws threaten property rights, but the government is now scrambling to present smoke-screen amendments. Alberta landowners deserve better than a half-hearted political fix-up job. They deserve an apology. To the Minister of SRD, will he apologize on his government's behalf for forcing these iron-fisted laws on landowners and admit that the reason he is changing
the Honourable Minister. The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't believe that Albertans would expect any kind of an apology from any government member or from the government itself for looking forward for the next 30, 40, 50 years in order to put a proper plan in place to have a conservation effort, to have the plans that we need to build a stronger Alberta for Albertans' future, Mr. Speaker.